guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is the second installment of my budget recaps. So I will be recapping my budget for February 2019. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Last month, my book of the month was Everyday Millionaires by Chris Hogan, and I did not finish it. I am on chapter 8, so I'm a little bit more than halfway done. So this March, Everyday Millionaires is going to be my book for March. So I'm hopefully going to finish it this month. Secondly, I had set a goal or a challenge of a no spend month, and I failed that too. I did. I ended up going, we were supposed to go to Disneyland, and I seen a really cute, the villain shirts. It says like baddie on Target.com. Yes, I was still online shopping. I was putting things into my cart and then like, okay, I'm not gonna buy it. But this one I ended up seeing, and I ended up really purchasing it. It was $12.99 from Target, so I picked that up, and then we didn't even end up going to Disneyland. So then I also spent $13 on the Sally Hansen Miracle Gel nail polish set. So my logic behind that was that I was going to do home manicures because it says on there that it's supposed to last for 2 weeks. So I was like it's the behavior that I have to change. But I was getting like antsy to go out and shop for stuff. And so my logic behind that was, you know, something that I can do at home and I can save money, and that's how I convinced myself to buy it. And so I bought it, and I did a home manicure, and that's not true. It does not last 2 weeks. It lasted on me, I would say, like 3 days before it started to crack, and then by 7 days it was already chipping off. So I'm still gonna give it a try. I'm not gonna give up yet. And I'm probably going to get like a different color, because the one that I got, it came with the top coat and like this pink color. It was really pretty. It's really pretty for spring, but I like more of like the nudes or like a white or something. And plus I just want another color to like switch it up a little bit. So those are my two fails. I didn't go over like super crazy, but I was going online and like putting things in my cart, and then I wouldn't check out. I just have like the impulse buy is what I need to fix. So both of my challenges, I guess I failed. I didn't finish my book for February, and I failed my no spend challenge. So for March, my book again is going to be just finishing the Everyday Millionaire. And then my new challenge for March is going to be putting $20 away every single paycheck. So I get paid every 2 weeks, and then my husband gets paid every 2 weeks. And so total, I should be putting away $80. And I got that little tip from my best friend. So Lenice, if you're watching, I am trying your challenge. Let's see if I can do it. So that $80 that I saved, the $20 from each check, I'm just going to be putting into my maternity savings fund. So as far as my budget goes, in February, I was able to repay my $1,000 emergency fund from January, when I had to pay off some car expenses and, well, some car maintenance. So I was able to pay that back. And then also, I'm changing my debt payoff strategy a little bit after finishing Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. We are expecting our second baby in July. And so what Dave Ramsey says, originally I had started this like my budgeting plan to pay off all of my consumer debt. But considering that I am going to be going on maternity leave in June, Dave Ramsey says that like it's best to start really just putting away all of the savings that you can for maternity leave, instead of really focusing on paying off debt. And so I think I'm going to turn my focus to that. I'm starting to, instead of like doing my debt snowball, I'm going to be focusing on putting everything that I can away for maternity leave. And then once I go back to work, if I have anything left over in that fund, then I'm just going to take that and put it all to either my credit card or my car loan. So a change of focus happen there, but I'm still on the same plan. It's just I'm not focusing on my debt so much right now. I'm not going to focus on that until I go back to work after maternity leave. Another thing that I did and that I learned from reading the Total Money Makeover is my savings. So I have a separate savings that I was putting money away for either like my 3 to 6 month emergency fund, or for like a home down payment. So I have a good amount of money put away into a savings that was through my credit union. And what I did with that is I transferred it over to it's an online savings account where I'm getting 2.2 APY. So since that money has just been sitting there for like a few years, at my credit union, it was only getting 0.1% annual interest. So I wasn't making any money off of that while it was just sitting there. So transferring it over to Ally, which has like a higher APY, I'm going to start making 2.2 off of that money. So I have money just sitting there, and I'm going to start to collect a higher percentage of interest on that. So along with switching over savings accounts to an online savings, I enrolled myself in what is it called? Hold on. Automatic payments to my maternity savings. And so instead of closing out the account that I had originally had my my down payment money saved in, I left it open, and I'm now taking $54 every 2 weeks from my check and putting it directly into that savings so that I can save for maternity leave. On top of that, I am, whatever money I'm paying all of my bills, and then whatever money is left over, I'm just rolling over into that savings so that I can really save everything I can for my leave, just in case anything happens. And this way I can go ahead and take care of the the delivery bill instead of having to like make payments on it or anything like that. Like, I'll just be more prepared. I didn't save any money this month, but that's because I went over my budget, number one, which I'll talk about right now. And I repaid myself for my $1,000 emergency fund. So let me just tell you guys how I went over on my budget. And I went over, I went over $260. But the good thing is, normally I would go over my or I didn't have a budget, but I would just go over my whatever I had in my account, and I would just start putting things on my credit card. Or if I knew like an expense came up, instead of like pulling out the cash for it, I would just automatically put it on my credit card, and nothing has went on my credit card. So that's really good. I have not used my credit card since starting this journey. So I'm really proud of myself on that. I'm a little disappointed because I did go over my budget by so much, but I'm going to bounce back in March. So let me just tell you what I went over on. I enrolled Cadence in gymnastics, and that was $66. Originally, I had planned to pay for it in March, but her classes started in March, and I didn't want her to lose her spot. Like, I felt like it was cutting it too close, so I just went ahead and paid it in February. And then we spent $80 on a last minute dinner with one of our friends, and that was something that I didn't really budget for, and I didn't have enough put away in my eating out fund, because the night before we kind of forgot about the dinner. Oops. And so we had went out to dinner, me, Richard, and Cadence, the night before. And so we didn't blow our budget. We only spent $27, but that $27 could have been used for the following day if we had just realized that we were going to be going out for dinner. So we spent $80 on that, and then we had stayed with friends. We had an emergency with our electricity. We had kind of like not an electrical fire, but it was very close. Like, we had sparks coming out, and so we couldn't stay here. We had to go stay with some friends. And so since they let us stay there, we went ahead and used our grocery fund to help like buy some stuff for us to like cook and barbecue the following day, just like as a thank you for them, you know, letting us stay there so last minute, and like they really helped us out. And so I didn't mind doing that at all. And so we spent that money on like our little barbecue and just like eating and hanging out. And so when I got back Sunday, I had to spend more money for like our groceries for the week, but that wasn't really a big deal. The last thing that we had to pay for that I didn't think about was our tax software. We decided to do our taxes in February. We had kind of been just like putting it off, and so finally we were like, let's just get it done. And so I normally do it on TurboTax, and I bought the software and it was like $70, and I forgot to budget that in. I didn't even think about taxes. So that's where all of the money went. But like I said, nothing was put on my credit card. Everything was paid for. You know, we cash flowed everything. So that was like a really big plus. The only thing is that we couldn't put any money away for maternity savings. So we're really starting in March, and we're kind of cutting it close because I go on leave in June. So I'm just trying to put away everything I can and really stick to my budget, especially coming March. Even though, one more thing too that I screwed up on, like my budget. I actually screwed up on my budget because what I was trying to do is start the month off using Richard's check, and then so it would be like Richard's check first and then my check, and I would combine those and budget for 2 weeks that way. And then it would be Richard's check in the middle of the week or in the middle of the month, and then my check at the end of the month, and then budget that way. But Richard's checks, it's not enough to cover like our rent and to give us like our extra living expenses. And so I totally screwed up that way too. So I realized that I can't start off with Richard's check. The beginning of the month when I budget has to be my check, so that I can make sure that we cover rent, and then we also have enough living expenses. And so that was just like a huge mess. And last month February, we had, I think 5 checks total. Richard got 3 and I got 2. And so I had tried to budget how I do like my first 2 checks, Richard's and mine together, and then Richard's again mid-month and mine together. And then use his like at the end, like, you know, for the second half. But it just like, it didn't work out. And so I ended up, I didn't really give up because I still stuck on budget. Like I did my cash envelopes and stuff like that. And even though I went over in my account, like my envelopes, I didn't go over and splurge, even though I was like, oh, screw it. We had a birthday dinner and I messed up and we had this and, you know, all of these extra expenses. Who cares? I'm just going to eat out all week. I didn't do that, but I didn't really budget for the last week of the month. And so when I started to do March's budget, I made sure that I started mine first. And so I feel like March is going to be a lot more promising than January and February were. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I think I finally got some kind of system down. So I'm hoping that March is a lot better. But yeah, that was my budget recap. I failed again, but I know we're just going to get better. And like I said, it wasn't so bad because I didn't put anything on my credit cards. So that's like that's a huge step in the right direction. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys get inspired, and I hope you guys learn something about budgeting, and I hope you guys join me on my budgeting journey. Thank you for watching. Bye.